yes, stormy down. The weekly groan, hoses, kinks, connections, leaks. This is an issue that never seems to be 100% solved. I've got a small front garden and only need a short hose to water it, about 5 metres long. The first hose I bought 8 years ago was advertised as anti-kink and the connections as anti-leak. Guess what? Both happened regularly. Now, these parts were plastic and from a well-known brand, a market leader. Firstly, the hose. It had a couple of extra protruding lines on it to prevent kinking, but this just made it worse and more cumbersome. Every time I'd have to untangle it whilst using it. This is terrible product design and testing. Of course, it got worse as it got older and more brittle. I remember one year as well, after the winter, I went to use it for the first time in several months and one end had developed a split. It was kept inside, so in the warm during the winter, but it still broke. I was able to cut off the affected part and reattach the connector, but still. The plastic connections themselves, they always leak. My old ones leaked in a place where you couldn't do anything about it. It wasn't where the connection mated with the tap or where the hose enters and clamps into the connector, but in the middle, between the two, so the quick release bit. If it was anywhere else, I could have changed the O-ring or tightened the clamp, but no, it was in the inaccessible part. The spray gun I have, it does a good job of watering the plants. It also waters my shoes. Again, it's leaking in a place where you can't fix it. The bit where the hose connects is fine. It's the internal connection on the spray that has a leak somewhere. I thought this part was removable so I could replace the washer or add some PTFE tape. No, you can't unscrew it. Believe me, I've tried with various grips. It's on there solid, which begs the question as to why it's leaking. But it is. I could add some super glue to the edge or silicone, but I shouldn't have to, and you just know with water it's always going to defeat it eventually. I've used lots of makes over the years and they're all the same despite over-the-top branding like Super Hose and the Ultimate Hose. The hose I've bought recently is better, but time will tell. I'm using brass connectors as well now, and I recommend these, although every time just after I've connected onto the tap and switched it on, some water always comes out the top, so like the others, it leaks even for just a second. I'll follow up this groan in 50 years' time and we'll see if all this is still a problem. I bet you it will be.